Hi, good afternoon. Steph here from Hofkissed. I'm jumping on for my Friday video, my live video. I did not post a little teaser about it earlier today because I wasn't sure that I was going to jump on. I'm still having trouble with my hand, which really sucks as a crafter, so I've been kind of down most of the week and I haven't been able to craft much, but I had a friend over this morning and we did a little crafting and I came up with a couple of cards, so I thought I'd give it a shot and jump on here and hope for the best. But I also wanted to jump on because I am going to do a draw for a Happy Mail from all the comments I received last Friday. So every Friday, if you leave a comment, share my video, wish me a happy Friday, I will draw a winner to receive some Happy Mail. So these are the comments that I noticed from last Friday's video. So Heather and Charlotte and Julie. And then I've got two Jennifers. So thank you everyone for leaving me a comment last week. You're all going into the bucket and I'm going to draw a winner. And let's see. No, I got two. God, they gotta go back in. Got one. Okay. Julie D, congratulations. Thanks again to everyone who left me a comment. Oh, I forgot one. I'm sorry, Julie. And Kim, I'm really sorry. I gotta be fair. Okay, Kim. Oh, that's awful. And on live video too. Okay. Julie, maybe you're gonna win again. Julie, maybe I'm also gonna send you. That wasn't fair. Okay. Heather G, congratulations. Julie, I'm also gonna send you Happy Mail because that was my boo-boo. So Heather and Julie, you're both getting Happy Mail, and thanks to everybody who sent me an email, not an email, left a comment on last week's video. Okay, moving on. Oh, it's Friday. All right, this is the card that I'm going to showcase today. So it's relatively simple, but let's see if we can pick up some of that shine and shimmer. I'm going to work with some fairies today, some mushroom paper. And I think it's showing up. We're going to do a little bit of embossing and I'm going to color with watercolor pencils right on the black cardstock. And yeah, let's get started because it's going to take a little bit of time. This is also a card that I'm going to do, one of 4 projects we're going to make in my monthly card fix class, which happens on the 3rd Thursday of the month. So this will be one of the projects, and I'm not sure I have that posted yet, but I'm getting there. Okay, like I said, I've been not down here very much this week. Okay, piece of black cardstock, there we go, cut with the stitched shape rectangle dies, so it has a little bit of stitching detail. And I'm going to do some heat embossing. So to heat emboss, 2 very important things. You need a embossing buddy and Versamark ink. So embossing buddy gets rid of the static on your paper, and Versamark is a clear and slow drying ink. Oh, see, there goes my hand. All right. I can't do certain things, so let's see how this goes. Okay, I'm going to stamp this fairy. Let's see, I did her on an angle. So this is from a stamp set called Fairy Celebration, which I have not used in quite some time, but I love it. So this is what it looks like. Lots of different fairies and some fun whimsical images and fonts. So I've stamped this in Versamark, and let's see. There, you can kind of see it. It just kind of pops up there, and it's a slow drying ink, and it's sticky. So to this we're going to add embossing powder. I'm going to do this, do 2 different embossing powders just to get a fun look, going with the whimsical. So first I've dumped on copper. Doesn't look like much now, but copper embossing powder. And you can see now, I have to dump this out because I don't want to mix my 2 embossing powders. You can see the image popping out a little bit more now. Can we see it? There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to add silver. And it's only going to stick, hopefully, where I have left the image with the Versamark ink. Okay, now it's going to get a little bit noisy because I'm going to heat emboss. And you'll see it change. I bring it a little closer. And it's going to start to melt the powder, and then it'll become permanent. If I left it like this, it'll just come off of the cardstock. So we want to make sure that it's on there forever. And I'm just heating and melting. You can maybe see that it's turning a little bit shiny. All right. Now it should be good. So let's see. There. Now it's shiny. It has like it has a texture to it. And this was a wow. This is still a wow to me. But this was what first got me when I started crafting, like, I don't know, 20 whatever years ago, 25 years ago. I've been making cards for a long time. Okay, so this is fun on its own. I'm not sure if it's coming up, but how I mixed the 2 colors together. So copper embossing powder mixed with silver. Now I'm going to come in with some watercolor pencils, and this is going to take some time. I don't usually like to do full coloring, but I wanted to show you step by step how I made this card today. So I'm not pressing too hard, just with watercolor pencils, and I'm just going to be mixing some of the colors together. So I'm using red and orange and coral, some yellow, some blue, some green. And this one's going to look different because I'm not even really looking at my original, but I can kind of blend the colors together. So I'm just dropping color, and then I'm going over, and again, not pressing too hard, but you know, you want to make sure that you fill in all the little areas. And if some of the black comes through, that's okay too. Come in now with a little bit of yellow. I hope I'm not shaking the camera too much. And just drop in some yellow. For all these little dots on the mushrooms here, I started with some white. And just filled that in. And then I went back over with red. And again, you can use any color that you want. I do find that the lighter, brighter colors work a bit better. All right, then I'm going, and I'm sort of following the lines, but not really, because nobody's really going to look that closely. Now, you don't want to go crazy and go too much out of the lines. But embossing really helps because it kind of gives you a raised texture. So you have something, you can, you know, helps you to stay in the lines a little bit. I think I also colored her shirt green here. And let's see, the dots on her fairy wings. Then I came in with some blue. So when I'm done here, I'm just going to lift it up, and then you'll probably be able to take a better peek here. Again, not pushing overly hard, just making sure that you're filling in most of the black cardstock where you want. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you some other cards that I made using this technique, including a card that I made earlier today with my friend. The idea popped into my head, and it was quite the frustrating card, but I am happy with how it turned out. Which isn't always the case, but it worked today. So, almost finished up here. I'm just adding some more color. I'm using orange. Go back over with some red. My apologies if I'm shaking the camera, because I'm not really looking at that right now. Paying attention to my coloring. So nothing special other than heat embossing to get that nice edge on it. And I'm not using any water or any sort of special pencils or anything. Well, they're watercolor pencils. So it makes it good for blending and works on the cardstock quite nicely. All right, I think I got it. Oh, her hair. Whoops. Wanted to add some yellow to her hair. Okay, let's see. Let's bring it up closer. So there. It might be a little bit hard to see on camera, but add some color. So there we go. Now I wanted to add some fairy dust. And what's better to add fairy dust than with some Wink of Stella? So if you're not familiar with Wink of Stella, this is glitter in a pen and works like a paintbrush. It is amazing and addictive, and I'm just using it and brushing it on my black cardstock to give the look of fairy dust, and it just adds some more whimsy to the card. Again, I'm not spending the time and tracing out the image. I'm a lazy stamper, and this does the trick. And if I get a little bit on my stamped image, that's fine too. Oh, but look at this. Look at the shimmer. Is it coming up? That's nice. Okay. So that part took quite a bit of time, but the rest of the card is pretty easy. Okay, so black cardstock. This is 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I cut it in half at 5.5. So the card is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. And I'm bringing it this way. I have some designer series paper. So this is double-sided paper from Stampin' Up. This is free paper right now. It's what is it called? Painted Seasons. So it's like a watercolor look on one side, and then the 4 different seasons, so like spring, summer, winter, or Christmas, and fall. And then the other side has these patterns on it. So I'm using the mushroom pattern because there's a mushroom in the stamp set and mushroom on the paper, and it just made sense to me. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. And the beauty of using double-sided paper is that you flip it over. If you don't like one side, you usually like the other side. And I can add easy accents like I did here. I had a strip of paper here, and so it's the same paper, but when I flip it over, I wasn't supposed to glue that down yet. That's okay, I haven't glued this piece down. I wanted to add my ribbon. So, oh, live, okay, it's not fully messed up. But normally, I would have glued this onto that first, added the ribbon, and then glued both together. But we're going to do it this way. So, I've added a glue dot underneath. You can also use double-sided tape, and I'm going to lay that there. And because I have a glue dot, when I wrap it around the back, it's going to hold it into place. All right, and then I can go ahead and glue this part to my card. There's nothing that can't be fixed. It's just a little more embarrassing when I'm on live. But it's all good. It's all good. All right. So there. So this is just the other side of this mushroom paper, but it adds a nice contrast. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in my image here that I colored and shimmied up. And I'm going to add, excuse my arm, dimensionals to the back, because things just look better popped up sometimes. All right. This is always the tricky part, peeling off all these paper pieces. Okay. And I'm going to add this. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my ribbon again. I'm using this ombre ribbon here. This is lemon lime twist ribbon. I like working off of the spool, and I'm just going to make some bunny ears. And I left more tail than normal because I'm doing this kind of whimsical, I don't know what to call it, spiral thingamajig from the ribbon. I don't know how to say it. So I wanted to leave a longer tail than normal. But when you make the bunny ears, then you can just pull on either strand, either end, and get it the way that you want it. And then I can come in and just cut right off of the spool, so I'm not wasting anything. Okay, and now we're going to do this little whimsical part of the ribbon, spiral. So I'm picking up a glue dot here on the back of my ribbon, and I'm going to add it there. And then all I'm doing, I'm going to first pick up a glue dot here onto my scissors. And I'm just going to, so I've picked it up and I'm just twisting the ribbon and kind of getting it to how I want it. Let's see. I think I'm going to, oh, you know what? I want this on an angle. That's going to bug me if I don't do that. Okay. Putting my glue dot down to hold the ribbon in place. And yes, this is going to be a little squashed when you put it in an envelope, but it should still pop up. Okay, again, just picking it up and twisting the ribbon. I just thought it added a nice little whimsy to the card with the fairies and the fairy dust and everything. Glue dot underneath to hold it in place, and you can still kind of play around with it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I didn't put a sentiment on the front, but you know me, I like to do the inside of the card as well. I'm not going to do that for you today on camera, but this is what I did on the inside. A little bit of fairy dust, and I put the sentiment on the inside. So there we go. Oh, I was going to show you some others that I did with the technique. So I posted this one. Now this is a much bolder image and more space for coloring. I posted this one I think a week or so ago, and I used silver embossing, and then I colored it in with watercolor pencils. And on the inside, I wanted more of this to show through, so I added a smaller strip, but you know, doing the inside of the card just adds a lot to it. So I did that one. And then this is the one that I did today, this morning with my friend. This mermaid, I did the copper and silver mixed as well. I did some dry embossing. There's lots of Wink of Stella on here. I'm not sure that's coming up on camera. And then I just color in some of these waves here, fussy cut my mermaid and added a sentiment, and then the inside. So there, the same technique and 3 different cards. I hope you liked today's video. Thank you for tuning in on my Friday live demonstration video. Please leave me a comment, and next week I will draw a winner for some Happy Mail. So thanks for sticking with me. If you didn't catch me live, this will be on my Facebook page probably in a couple minutes. So have a great Friday, everybody, a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week. Bye for now.